Hi everyone, my name is Christine, and in today's vlog, I want to share some of the biggest adjustments I experienced after moving from the Philippines to Australia. If you're planning to migrate, marry an Australian, or you're simply curious about life here, I hope this video helps you. While I share my thoughts and experiences, please allow me to share some more photos and videos taken during my first year here in Australia. In my first year, I was only on tourist visa kaya I needed to exit the country every 3 months. On my third visit, nag-change ng job location si husband and we needed to relocate from Perth to Broome, still in WA. Nauna si husband pumunta sa Broome ng 1 week and then sumunod lang ako after a week. I stayed with our church friends at pinasyal nila ako sa park na madaming kangaroo. And I also visited my mother-in-law. Madami siyang alagang chickens and ducks at sinama niya din ako sa royal show kung saan kasama ang ilan sa mga alaga niya sa exhibit at nanalo pa ng prizes. And while I share those photos and videos, let us go back to the topic. When I first arrived in Australia, everything was new and exciting. New places, new experiences, and a new chapter in life. But moving to another country comes with a lot of adjustments. For me, the first thing I really struggled with was being away from my family. I spent my life living with my parents and siblings in one house with our pets. And I and my husband rented an apartment in the Philippines near my parents' house, and we lived in together there for 3 months after we got married, and then my husband had to fly back to Australia to work. I did not have passport and visa yet, so I lived in our apartment. And whenever I would feel lonely, I would just take a tricycle and a jeepney, just less than 30 minutes. And nandun na ako sa bahay ng parents ko. Homesickness is real. In some Australians na na-meet ng husband ko na meron ding Filipina wife, he warned him na baka ma-homesick ako at umuwi ng Philippines. Kasi ganun ang ginawa ng wife niya. The husband was working FIFO, it means fly in, fly out. So, sa ibang nadedestino yun siya sa ibang lugar. And so, sometimes 3 weeks working and 1 week off or 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And na-homesick siya kasi wala siyang kasama mag-alaga ng mga anak niya. So, umuwi siya ng Philippines kasama yung dalawa niyang anak. Buti na lang malaki ang sweldo ng FIFO workers. At ang nangyari for several years, every off ng husband niya ay umuwi siya ng Cebu. But back then, I told my husband na it was different for me kasi I was only on a tourist visa and required to go home every 3 months. So I got to see my family every 3 months. Another big adjustment was doing almost everything by myself. Sa Pilipinas, maraming bagay ang mas convenient and you have your family members and parents to share with the chores. Dito sa Australia, ikaw ang halos gagawa ng lahat. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, grocery, shopping, and even gardening. Nakakapagod minsan pero natututo kang maging independent. Of course, there's also the cost of living. Maraming nagsasabi na mataas ang sahod sa Australia, and that's true. Pero, depende din sa location ng work mo. Well, if you will convert it into Philippine peso, malaki talaga. Pero mataas din ang gastusin dito at in dollars din. Rent, groceries, electricity, gas, petrol, yung iba may insurance pa. Lahat kailangan mong i-budget ng maayos. Hindi ibig sabihin na nasa Australia ka ay mayaman ka na. And rent here ay weekly ang payment. So, ibig sabihin, if you don't have money for a week, wala kang titirahan kasi weekly ang rent. Kaya most workers here ay weekly din ang sahod. Most households here, nag-work pareho ang wives and husbands to cover for all the expenses. Maliban na lang if they are starting a new family with young kids, so syempre hindi makakapag-work yung mommy. Ang kaibahan lang sa Philippines, parents in Australia receive financial support from the government for their kids. Eligible working parents can get government funded pay at the national minimum wage rate when a new baby arrives or is adopted. One adjustment that I didn't expect was the Australian accent and slang. Akala ko okay ng English ko pero may mga slang terms sila na hindi ko naman na-encounter sa Philippines noon. I will cover them in a separate vlog. One example is afternoon. They call it arvo. And then some of them call dinner hapunan sa Pilipinas. They call it tea. And then yung dinner ay tanghalian sa kanila. O di ba nakakalito? And then there's the weather. Sa Pilipinas, sanay tayo sa init. Minsan madaming tag-ulan. Dito sa Australia, especially during winter, sobrang lamig. Nung unang punta ko, kahit October na yun, ang lamig pa din dun sa Perth. At sa suburb na tinitirahan namin. At lalo na nung nag-winter, nag 5 degrees, sobrang lamig talaga. Pero ibang klase din yung init sa Perth. Dry heat siya. Pag lumalabas ka, parang nasa oven ka. Ganun. One thing I also had to adjust to was Christmas and New Year. Bilang Pilipino, sobrang espesyal ng Pasko sa atin. As early as September, maririnig mo na ang Christmas songs. Ang daming Christmas parties, family reunions, Noche Buena, at napakasaya ng buong paligid. Dito sa Australia, iba ang pakiramdam. Christmas falls during summer. So instead of wearing jackets, maraming naka-shorts at nagba-barbecue sa beach or in the backyard. It's a different kind of celebration. And while it's enjoyable, namimiss ko pa rin ng traditional Filipino Christmas. The same goes for New Year. Sa Pilipinas, sobrang lively, may fireworks, medyo noche, ingay ng mga tao, ingay sa kalsada, at halos buong barangay gising hanggang madaling araw. Dito sa Australia, mas tahimik ng celebration. And that was something I really had to get used to. Another adjustment that surprised me was the opening hours of shops. Sa Pilipinas, sanay tayo na maraming malls at stores ang bukas hanggang gabi. At may mga convenience stores na 24 hours. Dito sa Australia, especially sa mga suburbs, maraming shops ang maagang nagsasara, like 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. close na ang mga shops. Ang groceries close na by 7 p.m. Minsan 5 or 6 close na din sila. Especially pag Sunday. More local shops are closed on Sundays. Yes, like mamamasyal kayo ng Sunday kasi wala kayong work, pero close din yung places na gusto nyong puntahan or close din yung restaurant na gusto nyong puntahan. Another thing I had to adjust to was the public transportation. Kung nasa city ka, maganda ang public transport. May trains, trams at buses na madaling gamitin. Pero kapag nakatira ka sa suburbs or sa regional areas na malayo sa city, ibang usapan na. Kung malayo ang bahay mo sa pinakamalapit na bus stop or train station, kailangan mong maglakad ng mas malayo. Hindi tulad sa Pilipinas na halos saan ka man lumingon, may jeep or tricycle or pedicab na pwede mong sakyan. Kaya dito, maraming tao ang talagang kailangan ng sariling sasakyan. Especially kung araw-araw kang pumapasok sa trabaho. At halos lahat sila ay maaga ding natututong mag-drive. Like 16, 17, nag-aaral na mag-drive yung mga kabataan. So pag nag-17 sila, 18, pwede na sila kumuha ng license. Despite all these adjustments, I can honestly say that every challenge has helped me grow. Living in another country taught me to be stronger, more independent, and more appreciative of both the Philippines and Australia. And of course, it brought me much closer to my husband after our long distance relationship. To anyone who is planning to move abroad, remember this: adjustment takes time. It's okay to miss home. It's okay to have difficult days. And give yourself grace, keep learning, and little by little, your new place will start to feel like home. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's planning to move abroad or is already living overseas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next vlog. Bye everyone. God bless.